Only Murders in the Building, newest episode. Mabel. What are we going to do? So before we get into this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. We are on the road to 25,000 subscribers. We cover all the stuff you love. Better Call Saul, American Horror Stories, Nope. We were talking about Pearl today. We're talking Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's a lot. We cover everything you love, so make sure you're following us and subscribe to us. All our social medias and our culturelixir.com website. But let's get into Only Murders in the Building, episode 6. Where do we go from here? Because Mabel is in a lot of trouble after all of this. So pretty much at the end of the last episode, Oliver had this huge reveal that he might not be the father to his own son, and so he's getting this DNA test now. Now on the other side, we have Charles, who is dealing with the whole Jan thing, and then we have Mabel and Alice sort of getting back on the right footing, but not for long. We'll talk about that in a bit. So Charles goes back to the Brazel set and pretty much just goes along with it, right? Whatever. We get back with his daughter, and we also get back with his stunt double, which we haven't seen since the previous season. So exciting reunion, but not for long, as Oliver comes with the CCTV footage that he saw of the killer at the diner getting the matchbook. Then we have Mabel, who pretty much had the matchbook with the fingerprints and all of that were bloodied there. And now they're trying to figure out what to do. They text Detective Williams and say that they're going to get this thing sorted with them. And Detective Williams agrees through text message. We then have the other detective calling them up and telling them Only Murders in the Building, as well as the other podcast with Cinda and Poppy, that they gotta stop, you gotta chill, this isn't your job, you're not supposed to be private investigators or any of that, let us handle the work and you do what you gotta do, but don't do this. So then at the end, he reveals that Detective Williams is actually on maternity leave, which leaves Charles, Oliver, and Mabel at a disbelief as who exactly are they texting. Come to the conclusion it could be the killer, so they try to see if they can plant some fake evidence to sort of catch them in the trap, right? Then they're going to have a paint bomb, so that way when the killer tries to open the evidence and all of that, they basically will leave a trail of paint. Oliver decides to use glitter instead, however. So when this actually happens, we do see also in another scene that Mabel has seen that Alice has recreated the crime scene. And so it seems that Alice has sort of used Mabel just for sort of clout of sorts. But of course, Mabel storms away. We then see that the killer actually got glitter bombed, and now they are pretty much really close to Mabel, and Mabel knows this as well. On the other side of things, we have Charles, who has sent in his stunt double to sort of break it off with Jan because he can't do it himself, as him and Oliver also await the DNA test to see if in fact his son is actually his son. Right before they can get any answers, however, they are sent a video that pretty much shows Mabel killing, we don't know if she actually killed the person, or attacking, whatever you want to call it, the presumed killer, who is hooded with a knitting needle. Doesn't look good, and that's how we end. So this definitely ended on a really bad note for Mabel, because of course the knitting needle was the weapon that is pretty much the weapon that was used on Bunny as well, on top of the knife as well. But the knitting needle was very important and crucial to the crime scene, and now Mabel seems to be somebody who's used this knitting needle as well. And now Mabel seems to be a prime suspect of a murderous knitting needle killer, and so it doesn't look good for her at all. After all of this, there's video evidence, so it's a lot more concrete, and I'm pretty sure it's going to go viral, because that's what it seems like to be doing for sure. Because if you're in this public space and you see this person just kill somebody or attack somebody with a knitting needle, that's going to raise some eyes, some suspicions. So now Mabel definitely is in another world of trouble for sure after all of this. I think the whole Oliver thing with his son is interesting to see how it's going to work out in the next episodes. If he is in fact Teddy's son, that is definitely going to add some more layers to this whole story. Does Teddy know? Did he know? And maybe that's something he's holding on to Oliver to try and ruin him by letting him know, yeah, that's my son, not your son. So I think it should be interesting to see what happens in the next episodes. Charles and the whole Jan thing as well. I feel like Jan's definitely not going to take it well about Charles trying to break things off with her, because she still seems to be pretty obsessed with him as well. I think the whole Mabel and Alice thing is honestly interesting as well, because I always had my suspicions of Alice, even after the last episode where her name sort of got clear, but not in my opinion. It always seemed that she was an opportunistic person that was just taking advantage of Mabel, and Mabel was sort of trying to find somebody to find some sort of comfort with, and Alice sort of manipulated her into thinking that was her. But we'll see what happens, what explanations she might have for everything that she did. And the big question, of course, is what happens to Mabel next. I think Mabel definitely is going to be suspect number one for everybody. Even Charles and Oliver might have a little doubt about her after what they just witnessed, because honestly, that is something you didn't expect at all to happen, and it feels very out of character for Mabel as well. So I'm curious to see what that is. Was it the actual killer that actually got stabbed with the knitting needle, or is this somebody else entirely that was sort of trying to find evidence as well? I think that's going to be interesting to see. We also have the conversation that Poppy had with Mabel right before this whole incident happened, when they had a fallout with Cinda, and they were basically saying like, I got a lot of dirt on her. So Cinda might be up to more than we expected her to be up to, and could sort of be part of this whole mystery unraveling, but we'll see for sure, because I think that we are definitely going to get a Mabel that might be in hiding or on the run in the next episode, or if she isn't, she might just be taken into custody. So we'll see what happens with that. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this episode. I have a theory video on the killer tomorrow as I try to get my notes done and see who exactly could be the one that was behind all of this after these episodes. As we are nearing the end of season 2, I think we could have some more concrete evidence about who could it be, right? So stay tuned for that video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down here, notification bell up here to know when that video drops. We will do a live tonight, probably on horror and stuff like that. So if you want to tune into that, make sure that notification bell is on. But as always, check out all my other videos. We did a video on Nope. We did a video on Ant-Man coming out. We also did a video on the new Pearl trailer, and we have a video coming out as well on American Horror Stories this week. We did a Better Call Saul. We do it all. So if you want all the videos on all the things you love, make sure you subscribe, notification bell on. We are on the road to 25,000 subscribers. We hit 23,000 yesterday, and we hit 22,000 the past weekend. So super excited to be hitting these milestones, and I want to thank each and every one of you, because y'all make this possible. I love talking about movies, TV shows, pop culture, and I'll keep doing it as long as y'all keep giving that support. So give those thumbs up. But as always, I'll see y'all next time. Check out the videos on the left. Stay safe, stay positive. Comment below who you think might be the killer as well. Let me know in the comments. Let's just figure this out together. It'll be fun to see this comment back after the ending. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that I think that the killer might just be Cinda, because she wants something like to do with the podcast and all of that. But we'll see. Let me know who you think is the killer. Hey, if you're still listening, really appreciate you making it to the end. Go ahead and let me know your thoughts and your opinions. What was your favorite announcement at San Diego Comic-Con? Was it Marvel, DC, and if so, which movie specifically? I mean, for us, it definitely has to be Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty being announced, coming out back to back like that, because that is insane, and I'm excited for it to hear more about this at D23. So definitely a huge weekend at San Diego Comic-Con, and cannot wait to hear more about this when we get to D23 in September. But as always, make sure you're following us on all the social medias. We'll see y'all next time. Stay safe, stay positive.